Yeah, here we are, facing the same challenge. It's quite difficult to find the right words. You have to understand that entreat me for this moment to believe what I'm saying. You can easily confirm it as so by just simply looking at the evidence archive. But we know our species does. 99.9% of people won't do it. You won't care. You would rather kill yourself, shoot yourself in the head, than have to put in 2 minutes of work. Look at the Boston bombing. I solved the Boston bombing in probably less than 2 minutes by the evidence that's clearly there. And it takes you only a minute or two to find. Right? And know that 99.9% of all my followers at Google Plus, they won't do it. And they won't click like. Anything that is certain, you will not support. At least that's what we witness on Facebook, Google Plus, LinkedIn. Well, LinkedIn, no, don't go nowhere. It's a different kind of thing, LinkedIn is, I guess. But nowhere at Google Plus, and I've been there for years. Facebook, it's only recent that they haven't censored me for every moment I speak. You know, people should go see the history of me at Facebook, right? Unlike everybody else, Facebook gives me no reasons for why they're silencing me, right? Because they can't. I'm telling the truth, right? I'm not a bigot, right? I don't falsely malign the characters of innocent people, right? Sometimes I use swear words. You know, it's a way of communicating a frustration, I suppose, and at a loss of the right word. Sometimes a fuck you can really fit in well to where we're situated, our minds at, like I say, this circumstance is very disturbing. In Winnipeg, they're mass murdering the poor, and I have the cops laughing in my face, right? 7 times I've recorded my interactions with the police on this matter. They murdered my mom right in front of me. The nurse is punching my mom in the face, right? They got these guards ready to take me in, and I learned at that moment they've already murdered more than 10,000 people in the room I'm standing in, and they're murdering a young man who looks to be a police officer right beside me, right? So very unlike anything anybody could ever experience is the hell I am come through. A man of God I claim I am for decades. You can see me at 9/11, days after 9/11, explaining how the crime occurred and who's guilty. Almost the entire thing wrapped up in December of 2001. Go witness. Don't be fearful of the truth, right? Alex Jones has always known I've been here and has always warred opposing God's will to be just. Right now, Alex Jones will kill you, American loser, and you won't be able to defend yourself because you're not measuring things fair. Alex Jones will see a bullet in your head before letting you know that we, the people of Syria, believe we live in a democracy. We cast paper ballot elections and we count every vote as we matter, right? And we vote for those that have the better ideas, right? Alex Jones will see you die, American victim. He knows he loses to me, and he's known this since 9/11, right? I tell you how 9/11 happened. He doesn't want you to become aware of that. It's not only Alex Jones, though. It's just about everybody. Why? Why is it that you're fearful of the truth? Because I draw it with certainty, which means I'm being measured in my pronouncements. You don't have anything like that in your entire upbringing if you've been brought up by your TV. The TV never gives you certainties. It's a curious thing if you're not aware. You might, as many do, suspect there's something like Trump fans, most undoubtedly. To say, that the media is cheating us somehow, and Trump can't put his finger on it, but he might be, maybe he's aware of things that he knows aren't there, but he's not bringing them up, and we can talk about that later, what his character truly is on these matters of life and death, our survival, and it's not good, right? But it's the certainty you're not familiar with. So, for example, on TV, they'll never give you a measuring of anything if it means your life being saved or America not going further without not going further without fair representation. They don't want you to be fairly represented because then all of a sudden they have a responsibility, and you'll realize, unlike Trump just says something's up and we're not being treated fair, you know you were not being treated fair if they gave you certainties. Now, what are certainties in science? Mathematics. You see, the TV and the newspapers will never give you mathematics unless you go early 70s. Well, even in the 80s, there was some half-decent reporting being done, right? But now, never. So if you're in your 30s or 40s, You're not, and you never looked in newspaper archives. You know of no other world. So I'll give you a couple of examples. Social Security in America, it's a trust fund. Okay, so if you knew what a trust fund was, go look it up. It's being managed by those who, by law, have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure everything's on the up and up. It's all audited, fair and square. This is the public's money. This is your trust fund, American loser. Right? And what they won't tell you, Alex Jones will see you die. Right? He'll see you fucking dead, American less than, before letting you understand it gets less than 2% interest on a multi-trillion-dollar trust fund. See, Alex Jones will see you die here. Right? And so will a great many other so-called radio hosts. They don't want you to have that power. Right? Because if you had that power, it's not a left wing, that's what the Black Lives That Matter, who Alex Jones has declared war against. Right? And the feminists and the Muslims and so on. Not the criminals, not the crooks, right? But if you had that knowledge, and then if you had the knowledge of what a trust fund is, you'd know, without any shadow of doubt further to question, it's a crime scene. You can't have more than $1 trillion and only get 2%. Why don't you try and put it in a savings account then, maybe? What's a trust fund? A trust fund is a place where you're going to earn a higher percentage than what you would typically find in a savings account. Typically, in the 70s, in the 80s, when did this change? I think it's in 1998 or 1999 somewhere. I'm trying to remember when it was. It's just right when the computers come in for auto telling. Maybe it was in the early 90s. Prior to that, you would expect to find maybe a 2% interest on your savings account. Like, if you understood a little bit about banking. Now, of course, it's 0.02%. Right? It's way below the cost of inflation. Again, if you understood the mathematical reality, you'd know they're defrauding you the value of your money. The whole thing is corrupt because Alex Jones won't tell you either that the founding fathers envisioned that you would never, ever delegate the authority of issuing credit to a private individual because you're just being hijacked by a fucking terrorist. Right? Alex Jones will see you die for these terrorists. He won't give you that knowledge. Right? That's what the founding fathers envisioned. Alex Jones, never a constitutionalist. On 9/11, on Boston bombing. I despise you in a sense, all human beings, for the excuses you sell to not support my demand for justice on these matters. But the Sandy Hook matter, that is so fucking egregious and so fucking evil. And for your contempt, as anybody out there, as typically we find in this experience, you won't demand justice on this matter of gunning down 6 and 7-year-olds. Right? Just the disinformation of Alex Jones and his whores of Satan. It's all a hoax. It's done by the globalists. Why don't we follow the evidence trail? Right? And you won't do it. Just like you won't do it on the Boston bombing, which I explained in less than 2 minutes. A 1.6 gallon pressure cooker cannot possibly fit into Johar's bag. See, that's science. That's a measurement, right? And so when I post that evidence, I won't get a single like out of the 1,200 people that like me. And almost all of them are active accounts. Many people have 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers, goes back like 10 years, right? And all those people are gone from Google+. I bet I would wager at least 800 of the 12, more than that. Well, I'd say at least 800, no doubt, are active people at Google Plus who have seen something I've done or witnessed who I am and say, I'm going to follow him. He's kind of interesting when he explains all these fucking crime scenes as to who personally is responsible. And yet none of them, well, the truth is, as I've witnessed through tests, they don't get to see my posts, right? The only time, if you go see my stuff at Google Plus, almost uniformly, the only people that are clicking plus are my new followers. These are new people that say, I want to follow this guy. Look at that. Like. Oh, I'm going to share that. That's fucking great. And 95% of those people will never see again in Johnny's domain, right? It won't be forwarded to them. They'll forget who I am, right? And this is how Google Plus is to me for years. My information doesn't proliferate. Now they have an excuse. They'll say, well, we changed the algorithms and did all kinds of stuff, and now it doesn't work that way, Johnny. It's all about groups. So what do I find in groups? I find if you're not a friend of somebody who's posting, let's say, to an anonymous group, when you go to that anonymous group, that post isn't there present for you, right? What this is called it's called shadowing, and I don't want to get too much into it, but essentially because we're all on computers, what Facebook and Google Plus can do is they can fake It's called ghosting. They make it like you're there, your post is there. Look, go witness your post, and maybe people would go there. I seen your post, right? But other people, they'll go to that group and they won't see anything there of which you've stated. Now it's supposed to be under an anonymous title, right? But they don't tell you that they're ghosting, right? So that's what I've discovered at Google Plus. But I've got to press on. Google Plus has been the fairest to me. LinkedIn hasn't given me any troubles in years. So there was a time when people, they would say, "Oh, you can't say that." Why? Because people are complaining. Well, I'm only telling the truth. Well, at least they communicated. But Facebook gives nothing. I witness Ryan Dawson, who I respect tremendously. He's a little confused when it comes to education, and he falls into bigotry himself. The left wing, he's on the right wing team, and all that nonsense. But he's definitely a truth teller, and in a sense, could be a very successful demon slayer because he is committed to be truthful. So in those positions of where he's delegated himself to be something less than truly he is. In a discussion with me, he would probably assess that I'm the fairer arbitrator as to him being much greater than he's first realized. But anyway, he's put out a little video where Facebook has taken him down for 7 days. I had been taken for all the time I'd been there up until like 3 months ago. All it was is constant. I'm shut down, and it would be because I'd explain education, how it's financed, right? To think that Facebook. And they won't tell me why, right? But all I do is post how education is financed. Now, I know I'm pretty close to the only man of the English-speaking world who at least willingly would publicly explain it. I know of nobody else on earth. And I'm on this. There's one writer in the Washington Post that brought it up about 3.5 years ago. There's 2 kids in I think they're at the University of Berkeley, and they brought it up. Out of all the people that speak English, out of all the information that's available at any search engine you want to pick, you're going to find me, one writer at Washington Post, and 2 kids from university. And so why is that again? The reality, because it's certain. I'm telling you about exactly where money is coming and going. So you won't click like. Or Google Plus will insist that you never see that post. Facebook will always insist that anything written of a certainty, any mathematics, the ingredients of a vaccine, for example, or I haven't tried this yet, but I'm sure this is what we would find if I explain virology to you, right? I know I'm only one of maybe 20 people on earth who can explain it to you, that what they do is essentially try to kill you. You can't predetermine what strain of influenza is going to be in 30 seconds, never mind 6 months to a year in advance, right? That's certain. Right? All these doctors would be formally executed if that certainty was found in the body politic, and you keep the doors open for debate. You say, well, does anybody disagree that these vaccinations all cause massive brain damage because they're neurotoxins injected into newborn infants? 20 or 30 times? Killing, infants? These doctors who the police say you must sacrifice your mother's life to because no investigations will transpire. We will not allow homicide to investigate because they would find them guilty right away. They've purposefully stole my mother's life, punching her, cover all the patients there, all of them viciously, physically assaulted, covered black and blue. It's hell on earth. And why is that? Why is it hell on earth? Because it's lawless. It's deemed that no accountability can be drawn on the 4th floor of the Health Science Center. So if you go there yourself. Why don't you go there yourself, citizen of Winnipeg? Why don't you go there? Just walk around and see what's going on. You're a citizen. You have a right. You pay all these demon salaries to mass murder the poor. Why don't you go and check it out? Right? They're all covered black and blue. Right? And they're all I couldn't believe it either. Fuck. That's what cost my mother's life. I couldn't fucking believe the fucking horror. That this could be fucking possible. That all these people that get into healthcare as they've coagulated into this position, this lawless position. So what does it mean? If you have like a rotted cops too, but rotted doctor, he just wants to hurt people, or the nurse, you just want to punch out the elderly, and you like it here. in this position because none of the staff are brought to account. Nobody on the 4th floor of the Health Science Center has ever been reprimanded for anything. There's no accountability. Hell on earth. Right? There's no rules that they're supposed to obey. So they just punch people out. Right? If you're a citizen in Manitoba, you phone the College of Physicians and Surgeons yourself. Or go listen to the numerous phone calls I have recorded of this interaction. Right? The head spokeswoman, Ms. McDonald. Right? I speak to her at length. And just like all the other characters involved in this mass murder scene, nobody denies what's transpiring here. But in her case, she explains that if it's a criminal allegation of the thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands that they receive of being murdered at the Health Science Center, she is forbidden to instigate any investigation on behalf of the doctors and the nurses. They are the position on behalf of doctors and nurses. Right? They don't want them to be formally executed. That's their job title. But in a case where we were living in a civilized world and these allegations were based from a system that has accountability, that concept might fly more effectively as acceptable, but not in this matter. In this matter, no, she can't get involved legally and says you must contact the police. When I contact the police the 7 times, they laugh in my face and say, no, we will not allow any citizen in Canada to formulate an accusation of murder transpiring on the 4th floor. No laws apply there. Go listen. Right? Don't fear the truth. Fear the lies that cost innocent lives of our poor. Now you're thinking it's just Canadian poor because of their free health care. That's what you get. No, this system is widespread right across the continent. So what are we talking about? We're talking about a patient goes into the hospital, as my mom did, who just needed a water pill. She needed something to deal with her thyroid condition where her feet were swelling. And instead they inject her with things like a devil's breath and a fentanyl, the most powerful narcotic and heavy-duty poisons known to man. And then they tell me, we're not allowing your mom any medication for her thyroid. What? Yeah, we're going to poison her to die. You're in comfort care now. I'm going to call you go ahead, right? They're encouraging me. You do whatever you can. You have no rights here. They wouldn't allow me to demand my mom not be poisoned any further. You know, and it's a complicated story, but we finally get a doctor because they change doctors every 2 weeks. The doctor we have just before my mom is murdered decides that he won't poison my mom directly. He'll still give her the fentanyl, but we're going to keep it down. We're not going to give her anything to suffocate her. And then the new doctor, on the day they're murdering her, they put in this person who works with Dr. Collister. And I have it recorded, her speaking to my family. She's not going to introduce any new poisons to my mom. So we're about ready to fucking leave this hellhole. And then when I leave for coffee and come back, they're injecting my mom with devil's breath. And it kills her with her fentanyl. It paralyzes her and she dies soon thereafter at the hands of Charlene, who says, this is what she says to me over the phone, telling me my mom is dead. Your mom is not walking out these front doors. That's how she tells me over the phone that my mom is deceased, right? Because I believed I could trust her for a few minutes by me rushing home and then coming back. But when I get home, she says, your mom is already gone. She's not walking out the front doors. Because this is what I have recorded me saying to her prior to me walking out and coming and claiming that I'll be back shortly. And so the police say no. And so this program is all over, man. All across Canada, they're murdering the poor. The free press refuses to defend our community, refuses to warn us of this assault while they rob from the poorest of the poor also with our lottery revenues. The Winnipeg Free Press steals from the poor. Right? And again, it's a mathematical certainty. It's not a left-wing, socialist, right-wing, conservative fucking ideology. It's a reality. They're stealing from the poor and murdering our families. The Winnipeg Free Press is. Just like likely your newspaper telling you the Taliban did 9/11. Right? Just like your TV encouraging you not to support Trump's position of arresting Hitler. She's a fucking war witch, enemy of life and God. Opposed, she is to democracies, fair elections, like our newspaper is. Look, our newspapers are opposed to democracy and want a war god for Saudi Arabia. So you would acknowledge that is true. You don't need the evidence for that. You know that's already certain. They want to kill you. right, for Saudi Arabia. Your newspapers, anywhere in North America, right? They never hire not a single writer you can name that's well respected, liked, who's in a newspaper, right? The newspapers never hire people that we respect as honorable men and women. They only hire the filth who will indiscriminate slaughter of the poor and disabled, right? To steal our lottery winnings so nobody wins a fucking nickel, right? They steal all the fucking lottery money, man. Right? So maybe you don't know about the lotteries, okay? But you would know about the killing innocent people for Saudi Arabia, right? You know that. Well, look, they're willing to kill innocent families. It's not that far of a stretch for you to realize they're willing to kill you too, you know? Your mother, your father, right? With Nurse Delaney punching your mother in the face, right? Fucking all the patients covered black and blue, right? Sadistic. Fucking ungodly evil they are. Those who inject our newborn infants with these horrific neurotoxins, so too will tell. They deprived the patient needed medications while poisoning you to be suffocated, man. They murdered my mother. Dr. Collister, Dr. Chiswick, they need to face death sentences by fair public trial. I want to be the President of the United States by your decision to do right for Canada too, okay? You're voting for fucking Canada. And the second I'm fucking sworn in or have the authority as president of these United States standing for freedom, I'm sending in the U.S. military into the city of Winnipeg to take down the Winnipeg Police Department. They're going to be tried fairly, and those responsible will be guillotined. We're going to bring back the guillotine. Right? They know that they're murdering the poor at our hospitals. While the newspaper advances our newborn infants need to be injected with horrific neurotoxins, knowing full well the newspapers do. Peer-reviewed Canadian studies dictate influenza shots do nothing but exacerbate a circumstance where you're more likely to come down with deadly influenza. You're more likely to die from the flu if you get your shot that the newspaper encourages you to do without questioning. Don't be silly. So I want you to do right for ourselves. Look, I've got a lot of good ideas. I'm kind of scary when we talk about these war crimes and we talk about, 9/11, Sandy Hook, Boston bombing. I know how that kind of information likely does scare you because I tell you exactly how these crimes occurred and who's responsible. Pretty close. They need to be tried, given lawyers, but they're off with their heads as soon as the verdict comes down from we the people of the public body paying fucking attention to what the evidence dictates. All is fantastically revealed, and I wouldn't fear that kind of knowledge. But it has to do with how you conceptualize a relationship with God. All I know is God to each their own, however you want to make your way in this world. There's no absolute, so there's no rules here. It's how you find balance within your own experience. I can say I'm very disappointed in life that my mom needed to be murdered like this for me to learn of what fucking hell on earth truly is. Like, what a terrible sacrifice. Not the one person that I care the most of in this universe. And so all I know is, as it has always been, it is up to ourselves to get things done for the betterment of everyone. If we don't do it, it doesn't happen. Right? So hoping for God to come in and perform a miracle is something, I'm not counting on, and you shouldn't either. We should be counting on ourselves, demanding fair say as all the prophets preach. We treat another as we would will ourselves to be treated. You don't want to be murdered. You don't want to have your pension stolen. I don't want to have those things occur to me or my own either. You see, those are the functions of political discourse that are banned, right? Alex Jones will not allow me to speak. Right, to be knowledgeable as to how these crimes occur. He does not want you to have that power, and it's unfortunate. He gets to be a multimillionaire, and I'm facing homelessness. This is probably going to be my last video, and then if you never extend any help to me, if anybody out there can borrow me a little bit of money, I sure would appreciate it, just so I can try to get my house in order, to try to rent it out. If anybody can help me, please, I'll contact Mark Cuban, the billionaire. I sure hope he can maybe front me a couple $1,000s that I maybe could pay him back, I'm hoping, in 6 months or so. But I need your help, right? The police department with the health science center. Dr. Collister murdered my mother, who covered most of the bills with her pension. Now I can't afford to pay the bills. I'm definitely gonna lose everything I have in respect to the internet and communicating with you folks, unless I can, unless something close to a miracle happens. So I really need your help. I'm prepared to entertain too. I'm a great karaoke singer, if you didn't know. I just take a short break here, get myself a cigarette, and warm up my coffee.
And that's the truth, man. You work it out with reason. Any century. When you cry, wipe away the teardrop from your eye. You're lying safe in bed, these wrong bad dreams spinning in your head. Your mind tricked you to feel the pain, someone close to you leaving the game of life. So here it is, another chance. Wide awake, you face the day, your dreams over. Or has it just begun? There's a place I'd like to hide, the darling air comes through in the night. Relax, child, you were there, but only didn't realize when you were scared. It's a place where you alone to face your fears, to trace the years and ride the wings of your mind. Commanding in another world, suddenly you hear and see some magic new dimension. We'll be watching over you. Gonna help see it through. We'll protect you in the north. And the smiling next to you, the silent lucidity. Been stuffed in your pocket for the last 100 days. We got to demand paper ballots. I'm vying for a show on CNN. I'm hoping they're going to offer me a 3-hour a day, 5-day-a-week show. Maybe it'll be broadcast live out of New York City. How about that? I'll do the show live. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. Be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York. Wake up in a city doesn't sleep. Yeah, I'm fine, I'm king of the hill, top of the heap. This little town blues, I'm melting away. out of bed in old New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it. Anywhere it's up to you, New York, New York. Right, this is hero. If you people are talking about people. I hear them whisper. You won't believe it. They think we're lovers, kept undercover. I just ignore it, but
They keep
saying we love just a little too long. We stand just a little too close. We stand just a little too long. Baby, that's the end.
something we
Something to talk about.
something to talk
We're
about.
doing something to talk about.
Something to talk
We're
about.
doing something to talk about. How about love? Oh, I feel so foolish. I never noticed you like so nervous. You've been falling for me. It took a romance to make me wonder. How I'm confessed. How I'm going under. Think about you every day. Dream about you every night. Oh, I'm hoping that you feel the same way. Now that we know it, let's really show darling. Even something to talk about.
Something to talk about.
What I'm just trying to figure out.
Something to talk about.
Let's give them something to talk about. How about love? Love. Yeah, alright. Baby, baby, baby. I think I got a crush. Well, I love you, but I gotta stay true. I'm almost got me on my knees. I'm begging, please, to stop playing games. I don't know what this is, but you got me good, just like you knew it would. I don't know what you do it well. I'm under your spell. You got me begging you for mercy. Why won't you release me? You got me begging you for mercy. Why won't you release me? Yeah, I said release me. Now you think that I would be something on the side, but you got to understand I am a man. You can take my hand, yes you can. I don't know what this is, but you got me good, just like I knew you would. I don't know what you do, but you do it well. I'm under your spell. You got me begging you for mercy. Why won't you release me? You got me begging you for mercy. Why won't you release me? I say you better release me. Yeah, I'm begging you, baby.
You make me think with the same thing, 'cause you don't know what I'm thinking.
No, I
I
don't.
want a bit more than I'm asking for, but I
Okay.
just don't want to waste my time. You think that I'm not the other girls?
No,
Just like
never.
there's
I
nothing
just
in
not
this
really.
world
No,
you got me thinking, baby. I just don't
okay.
know my mind.
Yes, no, I do. I mean, yes, I. What is it? Okay. Yeah, I won't release me. Yeah, I'm there. You are there. this stranger? Babies and I run around, hanging with a crowd, putting your business in the street, talking out loud, saying you bought her this and that, how much you done spend. I swear she must believe it's all heaven sent. Hey boy, better bring that chick around. The sad, sad truth, daddy long down. Taught her how to talk like that. Gave her that big idea. Nothing you can't handle, nothing you ain't got. Put your money on the table, drive it off the line. Turn on that old love light and turn it maybe to a yes. Sam on schoolboy game got you into this mess. Hey son, better get back to town. Face the sad old truth, daddy long down. Put those ideas in your head. Come back down to earth, son. Dig it low, 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 down. You ain't got to be so bad, you ain't got to be so cold. Doggy dog existence sure is getting old. Gotta have a Jones for this, a Jones for that. This running with the Joneses, boy, just ain't where it's at. Yeah, you're gonna come back around to the sad, sad truth, the daddy long down. Got you thinking like that, boy.
Involved in 9/11. That evidence has never been forthcoming.
As I look into your eyes, I see the sun. When I don't get my bath, I take it out on the slaves. So grace up your baby for a while on the hill. I'll polish them rockets now, swallow those pills. Say, Space Lord, mother. There's a cow in the field now in a column of flame, with two doors to choose, but only one bears your name. You've been my nightmares, use my name. You stroke my cortex, you know I'm insane. I'm squeezing out thunder, and I'm hurting in love. Complicit water, but they shed about it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what we can do here. Lately, I've been. Let's try that again. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Yeah. This is out of tune, eh? We'll be counting stars. I see this life like a swinging vine, swing my heart across the line. Everywhere is face a sign, saying, seek out and ye shall find. Something's alright, doing the wrong thing. Feel something's alright, doing the right thing. I couldn't lie. Everything that kills me makes me feel alive. You better know it. The truth is going to prevail. If we can finally get our shit together. It's taken me quite a while just to get this happening here. I seem to be, what's the word? Dawdling? I know the issues right now are very critical, life and death. But if, if I don't communicate to you on the right wavelength, you're not going to do the right thing for yourself or your own kind. You'd see our species die. So I'm trying to find the space where you can hear who I am and know. I want the best for everybody. Girl's gone, Yeah. Come on, baby, now. So yeah, what am I doing? It's trying to find a place where I can communicate, where people will understand where I'm coming from, because I've been failing to show. We can come to agree to many things if people are paying enough attention. If people care enough for our plight here on 9/11, where investigations were closed immediately, and we're still sitting here waiting for you to support the following of probable cause to isolate the primary suspects, which I've done already for you, as I've done on all these other crime scenes as well. I figured the whole thing out for you. You just got to read it and confirm the facts as so, and I'm open for debate on any of these matters, of course. But Sandy Hook, they gunned down a bunch of 6 and 7-year-olds. These were grunts back from Iraq under General Sattler. What did they do in Iraq, you might ask? Well, under General Sattler, they wanted to kill all the people in Fallujah, which was they bombed the city, for example, nine times with 2,000-pound bombs, and there's about 300,000 people. The houses are like feet apart from each other, like 2.5 feet apart from each other, very densely packed, poor people. And the American Nazi satanic enemy of God and humanity figured they'll just kill every single man, woman, and child. And that's what they attempted to get done with these 9 2,000-pound bombs. This was the first onslaught, and then they send the soldiers in, ordered to kill every man, woman, and infant they come across. Now, this was made public prior to the attack. You remember Trump was saying, how do they explain, why would they tell us what they're going to do before they do it? Well, again, they did this too in Fallujah, where they said they were just going to kill every man, woman, and infant in the city. And I'm there in history, right, and several others, to talk about it, and to write about it, and to show you the reality, right? So this is what they said. And so people said, well, you're doing this just before George Walker Bush steals his second election. If you do it just prior to the election, the people might not vote for Bush, because they'll learn that because your intention is, your plan is to murder every single inhabitant in this densely packed city with a population exceeding 300,000. So General Sattler was told that, well, wait now, don't do it as you planned, and you've told us that this was your intention, with the 3rd Infantry, I think it is, Buford Blount's involved on this, and another guy. But they say to General Sattler, don't do it until after the election, and that's what he orders the troops. The general does. He says, we're going to hold off. Our intention and our plan was to kill every man, woman, and infant in the city of Fallujah. But since George Walker Bush needs to steal the second election first, because if he doesn't, common sense might prevail, and these grunts, such as General Sattler, will face righteous death sentence as a traitor to God and man. But so that's what he does do, and so it's acknowledged there in that moment in history. See, there's no dire need to have all these people murdered, but they just want to steal the lives of innocent folks, right? They're of zero threat. So he says, yeah, we'll wait till George Walker Bush steals the second election. And that's what he does. And that's what's in the news in that moment of history. He's waiting for George Walker Bush to steal the second election, and then they're going to implement this strategy that he's already told us about a month prior, and all the soldiers are ready. How does this relate to Sandy Hook? Do you know? Don't you think if you love God, you would once you understood this information, tell every person you can approach the reality at hand of what this world is really about? Who these people are that take our flag, they pirate our flag, and pronounce they're going to mass murder all these people in the city. Well, so in that period of time, people started to question, such as myself, begging people, look, pay attention. They're going to murder only innocent people. They don't support fair say. And why is it that they're picking on this city? Well, this city, Fallujah, it's now reporting in their newspapers and across the country that Zarqawi, nobody could possibly support this character, because in every instance he's been a part of as a terrorist, it's been to almost exclusively murder Iraqi children. right? And then we catch who it is, as I wrote about, it has nothing to do with Sicaria. And it's another thing for another day. I've done many shows on it. But that's what they're talking about, right? That's what General Sattler is worried about, that people realize, as it was disclosed later in history by the Pentagon, that it was all a psych op. The Zakawi thing was all about Americans going out and killing Iraqi kids and saying Al-Qaeda did it, right? That's what we learned later, right? P2OG it's called. It's out of the Pentagon, P2OG. They commit terrorist acts against innocent human beings for Al-Qaeda. That's what General Sattler, Buford Blount, and Russell, Stephen Russell, are all into, right? They're Al-Qaeda, right? But you give up your commitment in loving God to seek the truth. You'll deny yourself the facts that of which I speak is all corroborated in history. So in this precious time in history where we know that General Sattler is going to order his soldiers to kill every man, woman, and child as soon as George Walker Bush steals the second election, and I'm begging people of humanity to please look, what are they saying? What are they talking about? Why would they want to kill all these innocent people? Right? They don't like their reporters telling you the reality at hand about who Zarqawi is. And that's what we could best determine in that moment of why it was so important, apparently, to kill all these people, but they could hold off for a little bit. So as soon as George Walker Bush steals the second election, what they do is the day before, here's where Sandy Hook fits in on this, the day before they say to the city with loudspeakers, they say children under the age of 10, pregnant women, and the elderly over, I think it's 75. I think it was men over 75. But then they had some special thing with women over 65. It's about, women 65 to 7 and men 65 to 75. Approach the city limits, you can leave. This is the day before. They've already announced they're going to kill every man, woman, and infant. But they decided, we'll save the children of this entire city exceeding 300,000. We'll save the children that are under the age of 10. If you're 10, you're too old, right? If you're under the age of 10 and pregnant or senior citizens. So what they had is they had these people allowed to leave before they had dropped their 9 2,000-pound bombs and go door to door killing every man, woman, and infant. But so they said that General Sattler reported, his troops did on the border, that they released approximately 3,000 or so pregnant women, elderly, and children under 10 at the border. But here's the thing. So they strip searched these people. They made sure they had no weapons, of course, right? Because the soldier grunt says it's going to kill 10-year-olds in like less than 24 hours from this period in history. All the 10-year-olds it's going to kill. First-degree murder, right? That Trump says are heroes and are going to police your streets. He's going to give them all the military hardware they need to help the blacks get rid of the crime. That's what his answer is. Did you hear his presentation? You have to wake up, man. Alex Jones is not your friend either. Now, why he acts the way he does, we talk for too long. Just know, he'll see you die before he allows you to know that Syria is a democracy. We're doing the best we can. He'll see you die, right? He won't let you know that all vaccinations contain neurotoxins that cause brain damage in every instance. He won't allow me to say those sentences. He won't allow me to explain banking. We're paying back bankers for money they don't borrow us. All these things he's heard me talk on for decades. When he hears me speak, and just maybe like you, he'll say, I don't want anybody else to learn of this kind of information. That would empower everybody to be more on top of things. And I don't want any kind of, what is it? Is that you don't want the responsibility to have this knowledge? Because if we did have it together, Obama wouldn't get away with bombing democracies. Like, he's opposing democratic elections. That's what he's warring with American soldiers' lives in the balance to die sacrificed for these transgressions. But when they ordered those kids, or allowed those kids and the pregnant women and the elderly to leave the city, they needed a special group of guys. And these were the Sandy Hook Newtown Police Department. They are under the authority of General Sattler and played a part in what I'm describing. All documented, this happened. What they did is they told the Sandy Hook Newtown Police Department to park, I think it was, if I recall, I think it's 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers. I think maybe they might have said it was in miles. Let's say it's in kilometers, 2 or 3 kilometers down the highway, of which they sent these, General Sattler said it was approximately 3,000, something like that. The photographs look like to be about 300 people. right? It looks like they're only letting 3. It looks like about 300, but he said 3,000. And so it was the Sandy Hook Newtown Police Department's responsibility that 2 kilometers down from the border, they ensured that every infant was destroyed, double tapped. All the pregnant women were shredded to pieces with depleted uranium munitions. They were ordered to not let a single person survive. And so they insisted that every infant be double tapped. That's who the Sandy Hook Newtown Police Department is. Every single member of that department participated in this specific war crime and is under the authority of General Sattler. And there's also a colonel involved in this. That's Sandy Hook, right? That's Sandy Hook. And the evidence dictates the reality. You don't need me to paint it from my vantage. I'll just tell you what the evidence is. But you see, you give up and you don't want the responsibility. It took me so many, this was the biggest investigation I'd ever done. I think it superseded, well, it's a different kind of thing, I guess, 9/11. But I had to spend a lot of hours listening to police communications, of which nobody else did. We hear those snippets, but if you spent the time to listen through it, you'd understand. You get a sense as you move through time with all the 9/11 calls, all the people that are calling in. Never an ambulance is allowed to come to the aid of these children who are moaning in agony feet away from the front door. The head of EMS, like the director, is on scene at the school on the radio saying, you bring the EMS right up to the door of the school. Bring the mass casualty kit. Because he's only feet away from these children who are moaning in agony, and people around him are screaming for ambulances that are never allowed entry. Right? They gun those little kids down, and all the evidence. It takes me time to explain. Sally Cook, the nurse that we have, is just exceptional. The reality of what she represents. She sees the gunman come in, or hears people getting shot in the hallway, ducks under her desk and sees the gunman come into her office, and she talks about his army boots, right? And then he goes off and kills all the kids right outside her door and so on. She goes and hides in a closet and doesn't come out till 4 hours later. The school is never checked. They never checked that closet right at the crime scene. They claim the reason police can't enter is because it's already been checked 4 times over. It's bigger than a shopping center. Held more than 800 students. It is. All the photographs of the scene are in high definition video. Well, the photographs are high. The camera, I guess it would be high definition too. You can see exactly how big the school is. It's impossible. It's got the ceilings with the what do you call it? There's like a 3-foot space between the ceiling tile and the actual ceiling throughout the entire school. So a suspect can hide up in underneath any one of the ceiling tiles. They never check the gym. There's all those photographs dictate they never check. You can tell. Well, if you were a police officer and you were looking for a suspect, for example, in the gym there's a stage, and under the stage they have all these tables and chairs that we see them give free dinners to vets for. That's what that school did, right? But they don't move out any of the chairs. They don't move out any of the desks. So you know that if they were looking for a suspect, you have to look under the stage. It's huge under there. It's like, there's all kinds of dark spaces there for a suspect, such as a child that looks to be about 12 years old could crawl in through, right? They don't check. That's an example, but it's just endless examples. You didn't check here, you didn't check here. They didn't check the air ducts, which are 3-foot square. They're this big, the air ducts. Anybody can crawl through an air duct in there, and they go on for miles and miles and miles. Because like I say, it's bigger than a shopping center. They never check the air ducts. You can see in the photographs, they never check the air ducts. And they wouldn't let any cop into the scene because they said it had already been checked already. Chapman did. Right? And it goes on and on and on. And so all of it is revealed. It's just how much psychologically can you bear before running away as a coward, not committed to doing right for ourselves. Because it's so sad that I had to lose my mom here, who was really, she wasn't like me in any way political. She was just a gentle old lady who liked to watch Judge Judy, drink her coffee, have cigarettes. She never hurt nobody. She's the sweetest thing. Her face is so beautiful. And all these people that beat her to death, their faces are all hideously ugly. And they didn't like the fact that she spoke so eloquently and as truly a lover of life, expressing just that. And they despised her for her beauty, for being so wonderful a person, beating her up and torturing her and laughing in my face that we have no authority to demand fair say here. Well, fuck. Guess who's coming to fucking dinner? Like I say, I feel so at a loss of my understandings of the universe too. You know, I had all kinds of things that I no longer follow. You know, but you know, when you realize we're found unbound and we are of our own design, you know, you've got to design a way to move in this kind of space where you realize well, you can if you want to. If you get into the physics, it's not important. All you need to know is you want to treat others fair, because it's a reflection of yourself, not absent the picture of the society we want to live in, as sharing freedom to be all we can be. Exactly the same. Exactly the same. You see, now the rightards, they lose, all the bigots lose themselves right here, but it's a function of understanding the universe. All exactly the same. Exactly the same. Exactly the same. Completely unique we are. Every single one of us is a completely unique individual. Right? And so you can hold that, you can know it, and it can be of yourself. To will freedom for others means, hey, fucking rights, we're going to win here. And when we go with the better ideas, it's not always scary. Sometimes it's revolutionary in respect to how we provide ourselves energy. I believe I have many or other ideas that I borrowed from other people on free energy concepts, but I also have my own, which is just harness a buoy to the ocean floor to pull up a lever. There you go, free energy for everyone forever, and it's safe, you know, there's no pollution, you know, and it's as simple as that. So the answers can be found if we support those who, you know, give a damn and know a thing or two about what it's going to take to be civilized. So let's support justice for my mother here murdered in Winnipeg by just insisting a criminal investigation begin in respect to all the other lives still being lost to these demons. You know, and it's going to be quite an elaborate investigation, so we're going to have to get the support of Justin Trudeau, who I know at least is informed about this matter. He told me there was nothing he could do, but I think he's going to have to think again. There is something we must do in respect to caring for ourselves, not being cheated for further death by these monsters who, again, they figure we can never find a common ground, me and you. It's impossible for me and you to find common ground, is it? I don't believe so. I think we can find a space for us to both enjoy you know, a better future where we're not going to be rooked by crooks any longer. So do right tonight by forwarding this information to others. Let them get entertained. Maybe I would have liked to have maybe done something a little bit better, but maybe I'll close out with a couple of songs pre-recorded here from my days over at or whatever. I've been at RBN for a while. I was there for 9 months. You know, people say I shouldn't say the things I say because they don't claim I'm lying, though. They just don't like the truth told. It's strange. You know, how some people really, because it hurts the ego, and they'd rather die for their lies than go with the truth. It seems sometimes, but perhaps not in the public light of understanding. I mean, that's probably why they don't want me to talk, because then all of a sudden they too would have a responsibility to be honorable humans, at least appear as such, right? And, but yeah, I like to sing live, but... you know, another day I'll do another show if these things start becoming a little bit more popular than 1 or 2 views. Geez, people, you really got to understand this is important, vital life and death info. We need justice to be meted here in the city of Winnipeg, where the police are complicit in mass murdering the poor. A program running right across Canada and the United States. You need to be made aware. People are being taken against their will, deprived medications and poisoned to die, suffocated. They did to my mother. She never wanted to be suffocated or poisoned or anything. She goes there for her thyroid condition, and that's the one thing they say they won't give her medication for. And she has no rights to make a decision herself, nor do I. Free health care. That's what they're selling here in Winnipeg, murdering the poor, while the cops laugh. I want them to face fair death sentences. They can have all the lawyers they want. They're going to be found guilty. I'm very confident. Right? And you're going to be saving innocent people's lives. How people can be so wicked evil... Look at the Sandy Hook Newtown Police Department. Go research the fact that they gunned down, double-tapped a bunch of infants. Their numbers exceeding 3,000. When I asked them, why the fuck... I asked them at that moment in history, and so did others, but it was me and a couple other guys. I asked them, how do you think you're going to get... Or something like this. I said, how the fuck do you demons think you're going to escape we the people on this matter in history? How do you... Or something like that. That Americans won't... rip you to pieces once they learn of this betrayal to God and mankind. Anyway, something like that. And General Sattler responded to me and said this. It wasn't General Sattler, it was his assistant. His assistant said this. He said that what they would argue is that Zakari could have been any one of those children under 10, infants, pregnant women, and the elderly, because he could have been wearing a disguise. And that's what they said. So that's how they dealt with my confrontation in the Iraqi media, about how they figured that they would explain themselves to the American dumbfuck, putting their sons and daughters in this position, right? Because the people in Iraq know that the American grunts are fucking killing people at random and raping their kids. So soldiers die, right? If the soldiers come in and say, look, we only want to be fair here, we don't need to kill anybody if we don't have to, nobody would have died because there was no reason to attack ever. Saddam was willing to do all things asked of himself. There wasn't anything that had been asked of himself that he didn't comply with, right? There was no reason to kill anybody, right? That's what this, when I call Hitlery satanic demon horror, I'm not just like making that up to be dramatic. Like the lies of how you're conned to die in 2003, I am there too, right? All over that history like crazy, begging as I am today for people to be responsible and to defend soldiers' lives. The war makes no sense. The TV isn't taking our calls, and there were millions of people on the streets at that moment in time. In the winter, fucking too, this fucking people were fucking outraged because they knew CNN was lying to them. Like Trump has a concern of which many people concur. We know that TV is not here to do us fair. And they aren't, especially how we were left unaware to be tricked into the war against Iraq in 2003, where Saddam was doing all things. He'll step down. We can do it. He'll give you the TV and the radio. He offered all things. And Bush said, no. And he lied to the American people. Right, that there was some threat that was non-existent. But if you have unrestricted access, well, go address your threat. Rumsfeld said the WMDs were north, east, west, and south somewhat. Well, go get them then. If you knew where they were, there would be no reason to attack anybody. But anyway, okay, so talk to you again soon, folks.
I'm in love with a beautiful gal. That's what's the matter with me. I'm in love with a beautiful gal. She don't care about me. Thought I tried to keep her satisfied. She just wouldn't stay. And now she's gone, off and leaving. This is all I can say. I got a feeling called the blues all along. Baby said goodbye. Lord, I don't know what I'll do. All I do is sit inside. Oh Lord, the last long day she said goodbye. My Lord, I thought I would cry. She do me, she do you. She's got a kind of loving. Lord, I love to hear when she calls me sweet daddy. Such a beautiful dream. I had to think it's all over. I lost my heart at sea. I've grown so used to you somehow. Lord, nobody sugar daddy now. I got a lovesick blues. Look inside your heart. You don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an answer if you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on. You cast your fears aside, and you know you can't survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you and all alone. Clean shirt, new shoes, and I don't know where I'm going to. Silk suit, black tie, and I don't need a reason why. They come running just as fast as they can. Everybody's crazy about a shine breath man. Gold watch, diamond ring, and I ain't missing not a single thing. Cufflinks, stick pin. When I step out, I'm gonna do you in. They come running fast as they can. Everybody's crazy about a sharp breath man.
Where we see this unfolding in the news and what have you.
Don't need to know your rights. Yeah, push, not going yet. Left behind. Stay tuned. Never done. Required against the guilty of innocence and dire. Don't need to bust your drive for shite. Around market walk lines with your time. You need to see no loving form. You play a mute Tom Bush like slave trying to slow. Talked secretly at the White House. September 9th, 2001, the general was there. We're coming for you. You don't need to know your rights. With Bush not going yet, left tonight. Stay true, evidence is required against the guilty of innocence and God. Didn't need to voice our cries. He'd rather sell his crimes with lies. Our needs not be spoken for. We'll be slaves instead as dying bush-eyed horse. The Antichrist, our enemy, depriving us out of liberty. The Antichrist, God's enemy, forsaken you, forsaken me. The Antichrist, our enemy. Don't need to know who's right. Pushes that of which can't be denied. He needs no evidence against the guilty. Innocence, the Antichrist, our enemy, depriving us of liberty. The Antichrist, God's enemy, forsaken you, forsaken me. The Antichrist, our enemy. If I win the presidency. It's an instant moratorium on all vaccination. And GMOs, and you're going to understand you've been sacrificing in faith to evil incarnate, man. Pharmaceutical industry, they're destabilizing your brain chemistry. That's what's scientifically going on. They make no measurement to deduce. We have no science of understanding, brain chemistry per se as to how life functions. It's all kinds of mystery, but all they're doing is destabilizing your brain chemistry. It's the same as smoking crack. Why don't you fucking smoke some crack cocaine? Make you happy. Is KBR gang raping your wife or your daughter? Is some Bushite Nazi good-for-nothing grunt in the military raping your wife in the military? Your wife's in the military, she's getting gang raped by some Bushite grunts? So fucking pieces of shit! And, well, the TV says, hey, don't worry about it, take a happy pill. Why don't you smoke some fucking crack? That's what your medical industry is doing to you. I'm not exaggerating, that's what this is. This isn't medicine, right? The only solution to taking these narcotics is to be hooked for life. They make the antipsychotics, the side effects as so labeled on the side of the bottle say it makes you go crazy. The antidepressants, they give you suicidal tendencies, to be irrational, unbalanced, not healthy. I think your schooling is funny. I guess it's hard not to agree. That all depends on the motive. And who is in the family tree? Right. Right. You're bloody well right. You got a bloody right to say right. You bloody well right. You know you got a right to say ha ha. You bloody well right. You know you're right to say yeah. You bloody well right. You know you're right to say me. I don't care anyway. Write your problems down in detail. Take them to a higher place. When you cry, no, I shouldn't say well. In the meantime, hush your face. Right. You're bloody well right. Got a bloody right to say right. You're bloody well right. You know you got a right to say